Hey, what's up guys? Hope you had a great weekend. So yesterday, the new iPad Pro was leaked. Its full design was actually leaked by OnLeaks and MySmartPrice, and wow, I did not see this coming at all. Meanwhile, I was actually meeting this guy. That was kind of a cool experience. Super chill dude. I've been watching his videos for a while, so very cool to actually meet him in person. Anyways, I wasn't able to upload that yesterday, so I wanted to do that today. We actually did render this up. I wasn't able to get out videos because our Threadripper died right on time, so we'll be getting that fixed up. But in the meantime, let's talk about the new 2018 iPad Pro. And by the way, this is the 12.9-inch version that they actually released a concept of, and everything that's changed. And there's quite a few changes. This thing is definitely all new. Aside from what we knew already about the display, there's a lot of physical stuff that has changed on the actual chassis that we didn't know about before. So first off, this came from MySmartPrice. They say they have the schematics and they built this off of it. Although, before you get your hopes up completely, this is not 100% guaranteed to be the final design. They have a little bit of doubt in there. Both OnLeaks and MySmartPrice aren't completely sure that this is genuine, but very close. So there might be a couple changes in between this and the final release here in just about a week. Now, the first thing you'll notice is the design is massively different. It looks a lot like the original iPad in terms of the borders. I think that it's a love child between an iPhone 5 series and an iPhone 7 with that new lens on the back. So it looks really nice. And I feel like this design is perfect because with the whole bezel-less thing, you're gonna have a lot less room to grip the iPad on the sides, and nothing is more comfortable or easier to hold than a squarish design. And it's really awesome that they're bringing back that square design. I would love to see the successor to the iPhone XS bring that back as well. It'd be super neat. Now, these renderings do confirm that the iPad will be getting a metal back, not a glass back. That's just too great of a surface area to have a glass back on. And with this thing being not so strong, you need all the support you can get. So definitely metal on the back. Now, the first thing that I noticed is that the headphone jack is gone. No longer will you be receiving a headphone jack on the iPads. It's joining the iPhone 7 and up iPhones to where you'll probably have to use an adapter. And I was actually wondering what their strategy was with that, why they were keeping it around on one device and not on the other. So they're finally making everything even. No headphone jack for anybody, and the MacBooks could possibly be next down the road. Also, a very interesting change is that the speaker grill holes, there are many more of them than before. So right now there are 8. On this new version, there are 17 speaker grill holes. So a much wider speaker grill. Could this possibly mean that we'll be getting even more powerful speakers? This thing has absurdly loud speakers, so this next generation might even be crazier. And also there's new microphone placement. So the microphones on the back, which were located on the border here and on the back, are now together on the very top. And there's a new microphone between the camera and the flash units. So that matches up perfectly with the iPhone 9 design, or the 6.1-inch iPhone, not confirmed to be the iPhone 9. And so Apple's got a little bit of uniformity going on there, which I do like. And also there's a new antenna design. So this is most likely for the LTE version, but I'm sure that on the Wi-Fi version, it will be the same, as the antenna now goes around the edges, just like the iPhone 7 series did. And this is what it looked like before. So also very clean, but implemented much more nicely and cleaner on this new version. We did see that iPad case earlier that had a cutout on the bottom. Now we know what it's for. The smart connector has indeed been relocated to the bottom here from the side, and on the side in its place there's this really weird artifact, something that I think could be some sort of switch, a silent switch. It could possibly be just a way to put some covers on or some third-party accessories. We don't know what it is. Some sort of strange indent here on the side. So if you have any predictions about that, leave a comment down below. Now, this site says that the reason Apple relocated the smart connector to the bottom is because Face ID is coming to the iPad, and you will not be able to use Face ID supposedly in horizontal stance, so it'll only be available in vertical, and thus having a smart connector on the side doesn't really make sense. So they put it on the bottom. You'll have to use your iPad vertically with the keyboards now, which is interesting. That seems like an oversight. Is Apple really going to leave it like that? I hope not. There was a rumor that horizontal Face ID would be arriving on the iPads and possibly the new iPhone XS Plus, but now this is kind of making things a little strange. Oh, and that camera bump on the back looks really bad. So this one is all right, I guess. The other one really carves out of the metal and it seems to protrude even more. It's very strange looking, I think, on an iPad, but maybe the final product will look a little bit better. So that's going to match a little bit of the iPhone 7 style lens on the back. And again, take this all with a grain of salt. Both OnLeaks and MySmartPrice are saying they are not 100% confident that these are entirely true, so things may change before now and a week from now when Apple announces it. They actually said that they imagine it would be very hard for someone to come up with this and make it and send it to them to build these renders off of, which honestly hasn't stopped people in the past. Some people go to great lengths just to fake something. Oh, and a leak that I forgot to mention regarding this new iPad is that in iOS 12 Developer Beta 5, while doing some digging, his famous digging, developer Rambo actually found some code pertaining to the fact that yes, Face ID is coming to the iPad, and then Felipe Esposito dug deeper and found an actual glyph showing that this new design is confirmed and coming to the iPad. Well, there were two, the standard old one and the new one. So this is all but confirmation from Apple that yes, this new design is happening. Now what we don't know, and there's a little bit of confusion here, is what Apple's going to do with the Apple A11X or A12X chip. Are they going to skip an entire generation? Because it's going to be a little strange for them to release an A11X alongside the A12 series for the new iPhone. So MySmartPrice does believe that Apple will be updating the processor and skipping an entire generation, just naming wise, to the Apple A12X. It'll be a crazier, beefier version of the Apple A12 series. They said it'll be an 8-core chip with 4 gigabytes of RAM on the iPad. All right, so moving on from the iPad rumors to more leaks, Digitimes is reporting now that the Apple A12 series is going to get a huge head start on the rest of the competition. They said that 4 major companies that deal with processors right now, including Qualcomm and MediaTek, are pushing back their plans for a 7nm process into 2019. This gives Apple a huge leeway here. They get a huge head start in the competition, and the Apple A12 is going to be legendary for years to come. It's going to be such a future-proofed chip, and I really can't wait to use it. It's going to be a beast. Now, Apple actually might be dropping the Plus branding for the iPhone XS 6.5-inch. This was earlier predicted by Bloomberg. They were just assuming, and now developer Rambo is also assuming the same thing, that the Plus naming might be going away. So that leaves you to speculate what Apple's going to be calling the larger 6.5-inch version. It could be the iPhone XS and the iPhone XL, like extra large, but nobody says XL, you know, it doesn't make sense that way. Well, you're not supposed to say iPhone X, but a lot of my friends still do, and it triggers me every single time. Could Apple be naming it the iPhone XS 6.5 maybe, or the iPhone XS Pro, although the Pro doesn't make sense because his following tweet actually says that the only difference between the iPhone XS standard version and the 6.5-inch version is going to be the battery size and the screen size. There will be some software differences in there, possibly that dual SIM feature, but the main differences are just going to be the battery and screen size. So the Pro name doesn't really apply here. And in a new report today, Ming-Chi Kuo said that no, Apple will not be bringing Touch ID to the iPhones in 2019. 2019 was supposed to be a pretty big refresh year in terms of hardware and software, but that will not be happening. That doesn't stop Apple from still researching this technology. They've got patents going here, but unfortunately that is not coming back. They will just be improving Face ID for the foreseeable future. And he also did add that because Apple isn't adding this technology into their phones, many Android manufacturers are, and they're using it to their great advantage. As it turns out, a lot of people do actually like the speed improvements and the convenience factor of having an in-screen fingerprint sensor, so they're using that to a great advantage to actually sell phones, and it's only going to be improving from here on out. Oh, and foldable phones are being announced later this year. Samsung actually, in an interview with CNET, said that they would be announcing a foldable phone that they promised a couple years ago later this year, and it's roughly going to be around a 7-inch device that can fold in half, unfold, and you're going to get different functions. But they did say that they didn't want to build this device unless it could do something that other smartphones couldn't, so they're definitely going to have a very unique spin on this phone, and I thought that was great. So Apple, though, is exploring the same venue. They just want a patent for a foldable iPhone, and they may be hot on the heels of Samsung when it comes to a foldable design. We heard that there might be a curved iPhone coming up here very soon, but a foldable one would one-up that greatly. And Apple has filed for 2 patents regarding the Apple Watch, which could be making its way to the Apple Watch Series 4 later this year. So the first one is the ability to actually lay pixels on the curved edge of the glass of the Apple Watch. So you would truly be getting a full screen display here, as the pixels would be aligned on the edges as well. It would give it a very cool, futuristic looking appearance, and they actually filed a patent for that. They also filed a patent that could suggest that they're working on a always-on display for the Apple Watch, a feature that many competitors already have. I was actually wondering why Apple wasn't adding it. So this feature basically mitigates burn-in, and by pixel shifting, there's some tricks in there. So basically, an always-on display could be making its way to the Series 4, as well as a much more futuristic screen, which we already knew was coming. So there it is, guys. The new iPad, which we're going to be seeing here in just a week, looks a lot like the iPhone 5, and it got me even more excited for this device. It looks seriously awesome. And for those of you that haven't heard, I will be doing a giveaway for the iPhone XS and the Apple Watch Series 4 in the gold color. So the sign up is down below in the description. And this is of course once Apple releases it. Anyways, I'll keep you updated on anything that happens in between now and the final release date on September 12th. Stay tuned, guys. Peace.